You're watching 1700. Hey, Adrienne and I have just jumped through the TV to go to Gasswork Theatre.
Oh my gosh.
And we've watched the David Bowie tribute with Robot Child. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. What a show. Can we please sort of go through that and please tell me about your love for Bowie and why this sort of show started in the first place?
Well, I figure it should really be Kendall and Jeff answering that because they're the ones who started it. So
These are the stars of the show.
Okay. The stars of the show. Oh, look, we're mic passing in a horrified way. Who doesn't love Bowie? I mean, really, what artist doesn't love Bowie? I'm the theatre person, so it was like, well, he has a career of music videos and a career of theatricality and imagery. So it was the natural step to go, well, let's put that on stage in some way, shape or form, not as well as him.
Well, you've done that quite well. There's a few. All right, so firstly, the composition musically, fantastic. You're just belting out hit after hit, non-stop hits. And then what I gained from it is there was like you two were both Bowie, and then it was all kind of his whole career was kind of playing out on the stage. Am I right?
Close. We're like no, you're almost right. We were technically not Bowie. We were just the every artist. But we did spend hours and hours and hours watching B-reel footage of Bowie interviews and listening to the man's pain.
It was definitely inspired, like the character was inspired by Bowie, but I also like looked at some Michael Hutchence dance moves. There's a scene, did you notice that?
I just noticed you were moving.
He was excited.
Yeah.
China Girl involves some sort of Michael Hutchence sexy dancing, and I don't know, there's like a number of artists
You're very inspired with Jean-Michel Basquiat for this one,
I
aren't
wasn't
you?
going to say that because it's a bit too arty, but yeah.
It's true though. Bring it out.
Jean-Michel Basquiat as well, like I've added a bit of him in there, and because I didn't really want it to be just an impersonation of Bowie, otherwise I'm going to end up at the Crown doing the midday, at Palms. So, yeah.
Changing the score in any way or interpreting it differently?
Trying
and playing
to stay
it?
as true to it as possible.
yeah,
If not exactly note for note.
yeah,
Right.
There's nothing to change.
I mean, it would have been nice to just interpret because the fact is that's what Bowie did whenever he did it live.
Yeah.
And so that a lot of his stuff you actually can't replicate live. Like there are sounds you cannot get because they've been gotten over 12 hours or 3 weeks in a studio, fiddling with equipment and passing it through some other thing that no longer exists, and this other device that was built in the former Soviet Union, and there's a lot of that. So when you try to replicate it live, you simply can't do it. So then what you do as a band, I think you guys would have done the same thing. You go off to YouTube and you say, all right, well, how did he do it? And then he does it and you go, oh, well, he completely changed it. Well, that's great. Because he's David Bowie, he has that license, but I don't know if we have the license just to turn it into something else.
We watched a bunch of his live footage, didn't we? We watched a bunch of live concerts. Oh, that's how he does it live, because there's no way he could have done that, live
did that
based on the studio recording.
Watching that?
Yeah, it did, because there's an energy between the bands, and over the course of 30, 40 odd years of career, he had multiple artists in his band, like genuine artists. Robert Fripp, I think, was in there. There's a whole bunch.
Fripp gave me a headache.
Yeah, as a guitarist.
That guy killed
Bowie.
me. Right?
Yeah. But I think Stevie Ray Vaughan was in there too at some point as well. So you had some awesome sort of musicians in there, and we were sort of covering decades of different musicians and musical styles, and watching him do some of the stuff from the 90s live, it sort of seemed, very much of the time. So we had to sort of try and tap into that sound from the 90s and tap into that sound from the new millennium stuff, and then go back to the 70s and then across to the 80s. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
We've had some lineup changes in the band, but one of the very first things we did was actually a theatre production of The Wall, the Pink Floyd album. And that is really difficult to pull off in its own way. But once you lock into the sound, you know what you're doing. The problem with Bowie is it's just a moving target. So you start with Ziggy Stardust and you go, oh, this will be a doddle. And then Hello Space Boy comes along, and it's like, well, could you just stop? It's actually exceptionally difficult to try to replicate that, and that I think was the real challenge for us. Which is why, if you look at the stage, there is just so much gear.
Yeah.
Can we get a shot of the stage?
Yeah. At one point, you had the clavicle out, or some sort of like the ribbit thing. Yeah.
I love that.
Master of the guiro,
yes, I loved it.
It's the guiro for those playing at home, but yes, Dave's the master at one point of the guiro.
Can we get it right now? Can we do it? I want a little performance,
just
please.
a quick one.
Thank you. Just a little.
That's okay. But no, I just commenting on the range of Bowie and the way that you did it, just quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, we couldn't tell. We definitely couldn't tell. All right, so
Oh yes, I'm ready for this.
Hang on, that's the wrong tempo, isn't it?
No, that's
We
exactly the
passed
same.
Upon the stairs, spoke of was and when.
Yeah, wow.
although
So-
I wasn't there.
you've got a master's in classical
Said
Guevara,
I
yeah?
was his friend.
6 years.
Thank you so much for coming by 1700.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having us.
Catch us later.